Hello and welcome to this episode of the Recruitment Podcast, where we celebrate academic recruitment and bring education to everyone. Today, we're diving into alumni networks and their role in recruitment. We've got research papers, surveys, and even a case study from a tech giant, all kind of pointing to how alumni networks are so much more than just reunions.
Yeah, it's true. We often hear, it's who you know. But alumni networks offer something much deeper than just simple connections. They actually provide a sort of pre-vetting process for potential candidates.
Okay, so walk me through this pre-vetting. How is it different from what a recruiter might do on their own?
Well, think about it. Alumni often come equipped with a deep understanding of the company's culture, values, even those unspoken norms that can take years to pick up.
Right.
And beyond that, they may have even gone through specific training programs or mentorship. That applies directly to the roles they're now filling. It's a level of insight that's hard to glean from a resume alone.
That's really interesting. It's almost like a built-in cultural fit assessment. And speaking of pre-existing knowledge, our sources highlight this trend of boomerang employees, former employees returning to their old stomping grounds.
Right. And the data on this is fascinating. One study found that boomerang employees, on average, onboard 40% faster than external hires. And they're significantly more likely to be promoted within the first 2 years back.
Wow, 40% faster onboarding. That's significant. It makes sense, though, right? They're not starting from scratch, both in terms of company knowledge and the actual work itself.
Exactly. And for organizations, it's not just about saving time and resources on training. Boomerang employees often bring back valuable experience gained elsewhere, injecting fresh perspectives and ideas into the company.
So it's a win-win. Alumni gets a smoother transition back into a familiar environment, and companies get a leg up in terms of both talent and cost savings. But all of this potential hinges on one key factor, actually activating the alumni network. What are some concrete steps organizations can take to tap into this valuable resource?
Well, first and foremost, it's about shifting the mindset. Companies need to stop viewing alumni as people who have left and start seeing them as an extension of their talent pool. This means nurturing those relationships even when someone isn't actively seeking a job.
So it's about building those connections for the long haul. But we're not just talking about sending out holiday cards, right? What are some more effective ways to keep alumni engaged?
Mentorship programs can be incredibly effective. Pairing alumni with current employees not only provides valuable guidance for the mentee, but also keeps the alumni invested in the company's success. And it's not just formal programs. Even simple gestures like congratulating alumni on career milestones or remembering birthdays can go a long way.
It's about showing genuine interest in their journey, even when they're no longer on the payroll. And when it comes to actual recruitment, how can organizations specifically target alumni for open positions?
Dedicated career portals on the company website or LinkedIn groups specifically for alumni are great ways to get those job postings in front of the right audience. And don't underestimate the power of messaging.
I imagine tailoring the message to highlight that coming home aspect.
Yeah.
Emphasizing that shared history could be really effective.
Absolutely. And streamlining the application process for alumni, even having a dedicated track for them, shows that you value their experience and makes it easier for them to return. It's interesting to see how companies are moving beyond that old transactional model of alumni relations, where it was all about fundraising and the occasional reunion.
Right. It's a whole new way of thinking about alumni as valuable assets who can contribute to a company's success in so many different ways. But this shift definitely demands a more strategic and personalized approach.
Absolutely. One key adaptation is recognizing that alumni are not a one-size-fits-all group. They have diverse backgrounds, career paths, and interests, so that generic catch-all approach just won't cut it anymore.
It seems like it comes down to really understanding the individual needs and aspirations of each alumni and tailoring the communication accordingly.
Exactly. And that's where data analytics and AI can be game changers. Organizations can use these tools to segment alumni based on their profiles, interests, and career trajectories, making the outreach much more targeted and effective.
I can see how that would be powerful. Imagine getting personalized recommendations for job openings, mentorship opportunities, or even industry events that are perfectly aligned with your skills and aspirations.
Yeah.
It would definitely make you feel valued.
It's all about creating that sense of value and relevance, which ultimately leads to increased engagement and willingness to contribute. On the flip side, it also makes the organization's efforts much more efficient, so it's a win-win.
And in today's globalized world, that alumni network takes on a whole new dimension. Companies are becoming more international, and their alumni are scattered across the globe.
Right. So we're not just talking about maintaining connections within a specific city or region anymore. It's about fostering a truly global community, which requires a shift in thinking. Organizations need to invest in platforms and communication channels that allow for seamless interaction across borders and time zones.
So things like virtual networking events, online mentorship programs, and social media groups that transcend those geographical boundaries, it sounds like it takes a real commitment.
It does. And it's not just about connecting alumni with each other, it's also about connecting them with current employees and leaders around the world, creating those cross-cultural connections that can spark innovation and knowledge sharing.
It's fascinating to think about how these connections could lead to new ideas and collaborations that might never have happened otherwise. And as the concept of lifelong learning becomes more prevalent, organizations need to consider how their alumni networks can support professional development and career transitions.
It's true. We're moving beyond just thinking about alumni for recruitment and starting to see them as partners in their ongoing learning and growth. What if companies offered alumni access to online courses, workshops, or even industry certifications, all tailored to their evolving needs and aspirations?
That would be incredible. It would be a win-win, keeping alumni engaged and enhancing their skill sets while giving organizations access to a highly skilled and motivated network of potential candidates and collaborators.
Exactly. And in a world that's increasingly uncertain, those alumni networks can offer a sense of stability and community that's incredibly valuable.
It's like having an extended family. You can rely on a network of people who understand your journey and can offer support and guidance.
That sense of belonging can be incredibly powerful, especially during times of transition or challenge. It's a reminder that you're not alone. You have a network of people who believe in you and want to see you succeed.
It seems like we're witnessing a real evolution in alumni networks. They're becoming less transactional and more relational, with a greater focus on building genuine connections and a sense of shared purpose.
It's about creating an environment where alumni feel valued, appreciated, and empowered to contribute in meaningful ways. Organizations that embrace this mindset will reap the rewards, attracting top talent, driving innovation, and building a lasting legacy.
And with technology advancing at such a rapid pace, it makes you wonder how things like virtual reality and augmented reality might reshape alumni engagement. It's a pretty exciting prospect.
Absolutely. Imagine attending a virtual alumni reunion from your living room, interacting with former classmates and colleagues in a lifelike virtual environment. Or participating in a virtual mentorship program where you can shadow a senior executive in another country, gaining invaluable insights without ever leaving your desk.
The possibilities are mind-boggling. And as those technologies become more accessible and sophisticated, alumni networks have the potential to become even more immersive and impactful.
It's an exciting time to be exploring the potential of alumni networks. And as organizations continue to adapt and innovate, I think we can expect even more creative approaches to alumni engagement in the coming years.
Well, this conversation has definitely energized me. It's clear that alumni networks are a force to be reckoned with, not just in recruitment, but in so many other aspects of a company's success.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'd like to leave you with this thought. How might the evolving nature of work, with its emphasis on remote collaboration and flexible arrangements, impact the way we connect with and engage alumni in the future?
That's a great question to consider as we head into this new era of work. And for our listeners who are eager to explore new opportunities in higher education, you can find all the latest job postings on academicjobs.com.
Yeah, it really is fascinating to think about how remote work is reshaping not just the structure of organizations, but also the dynamics of their alumni networks.
Yeah, it's like those traditional boundaries of the workplace are dissolving, creating this more fluid and interconnected ecosystem. So how does this impact alumni engagement?
Well, for starters, it requires a rethinking of what alumni engagement even looks like. We can't rely solely on in-person events or traditional communication channels anymore.
Right. Those methods probably wouldn't be as effective when you have alumni scattered across the globe, working in different settings and on flexible schedules.
Exactly. We have to embrace digital platforms and tools that facilitate communication and collaboration regardless of location or time zone.
So things like virtual networking events, online mentorship programs, and those alumni-specific social media groups we talked about earlier.
Precisely. And it's not just about providing the platforms, it's about fostering a culture of virtual engagement, making alumni feel comfortable and connected in those online spaces.
It's about creating that sense of community. We talked about extending it beyond the physical walls of the organization.
Right. And as the lines between work and life blur, organizations need to be mindful of how they engage alumni. It's not about bombarding them with job postings or event invitations.
Right. It's about understanding their individual needs and preferences, respecting their boundaries, and offering value.
Absolutely. Personalization and relevance are key. Organizations should use data and insights to tailor their communication and make sure alumni receive information and opportunities that are genuinely valuable to them.
It's about moving away from that transactional mindset and building genuine relationships based on shared purpose.
And that requires a deeper understanding of alumni motivations. What are their professional goals, their personal interests? How can the organization support their growth and well-being even beyond their formal employment?
It's about seeing alumni as whole people, not just potential candidates or donors, and building relationships that are mutually beneficial.
And as technology continues to advance, we can expect even more innovative ways to connect. Imagine virtual reality experiences that let alumni revisit their old campus or workplace.
Oh, wow. They could reconnect with memories and colleagues in a truly immersive way.
Or picture augmented reality tools that provide personalized career guidance, overlaying information and opportunities onto their real world.
The possibilities are incredible. As organizations embrace these new technologies, alumni networks will become even more vibrant, dynamic, and impactful.
It's a fascinating time to be exploring the future of alumni engagement. As organizations adapt and innovate, we'll see even more creative approaches to connecting with and supporting alumni in the years to come.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the fundamentals of alumni networks to the emerging trends shaping their future.
And we've seen how these networks are evolving from transactional to relational, focusing on genuine connections and shared purpose.
It's clear that alumni networks are a powerful force, and organizations that harness that power will have a real advantage in attracting talent, driving innovation, and building a lasting legacy.
I think in a world that's increasingly interconnected and complex, alumni networks can be invaluable sources of support, guidance, and inspiration.
Yeah, they remind us that we're part of something larger than ourselves, a community of people who share a history and a commitment to making a positive impact. And for our listeners looking to explore opportunities in higher education, remember to check out academicjobs.com.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of alumni networks.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights that you can apply to your own professional journey.